healthcare, immigration, anything that has to do with war. It's disregarding the average American's life completely. Women's rights, it's a bunch of white men sitting there thinking, the female body. Oh man, I've seen how they discuss it, and I don't see a woman present. And the ones I do, they sit by and are quiet. That's their choice. It's unfortunate, but that's their choice. And if it comes down to LGBT rights, who are you to sit there and go, no, you don't have a right because you have a different orientation, because you like who you like, because it somehow affects my life. Because it doesn't. That's someone else's life. What they do in their bedroom is their business. I can tell you, PBS has done wonders. PBS and everything they have done. I grew up with Sesame Street. I remember Sesame Street, and I bet you the majority of you have too. You know Sesame Street, and you know what it's done for kids. Defunding that and taking that away because you don't like what they're saying, that is some cowardice right there. Just in war, I have done my research, and I have looked up into the wars, and I understand, and I'm fascinated. Sadly, I'm fascinated. But it's mainly where it comes from. I actually spoke to a woman the other day, Cam was saying, who lived through the Cold War, and she says this is a scarier time.
Mm-hmm.
I have seen videos where people, when they are told and they're in a group that war has started, they believe it. Because it is a thing that is so, it's there. Any day now, war could break out. Why? Because we have a 5-year-old in office. And I'm just going down the list. I'm sorry, guys. That way we can get it out and you guys can continue.
That's what this is for. You go.
But I am for the Constitution, as it is, the freedoms that we are given as American people. And I'm also for what the Statue of Liberty says. Give me your tired, your poor, your huddled masses yearning to breathe free. So I am for immigration. I am for freedom. I am for Bill of Rights. And you know what? I am 2 of the things this country does not like. I am a woman and I'm non-Christian. And I bet you my daddy would be mad to hear me say that. And the thing about that is, when there is when I watch how they persecute Muslims, when they have no understanding of their religious text, no understanding, they just go, no, it's evil, it's cruel. Well, there's more hate in the Bible, I'm sorry guys, but there's more hate in the Bible than there is in the Quran. I've done the statistics, and I don't dislike anything. I think religion is necessary. I think belief systems and what keeps you positive and going and a good person is good. But that's my opinions. Russian connections. Putin, we just need to cut ties with that, and I'm sad that we have yet to cut ties with that. Man, I'm shaking. I'm just full of energy. But overall, if I get back down to it, it's disregard for human life. So my overarching question is, what gives you the right to disregard other human lives that are not fortunate enough as you three, as the individual that was elected into office? What gives you and all of the people that your constituents, what gives you the right to dictate our lives?
All 3 of these guys will tell you, we love human life. We think that people ought to be brought into the world regardless of what the one who's bringing into the world wants. But the minute they screw up, we put them in prison or otherwise. We only care about them coming into the world. After that, you're on your own. Can't help it. So that would, I think, that would be the report without the whole can't help you part. Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. I have a question that's mostly for Warren, although I guess Thornberry can jump in as well as a, three dimensions. But my question is, I saw Senator Cornyn in Dallas back in December getting super psyched about the 21st Century Cures Act. That the distinct part that I was paying attention to was about the mental health care for people as they leave the prison or jail system, not only in Texas, but around the country. And then, we have this AHCA vote that, he did not have the opportunity to take, that seemed to support the bill and, fixing of these responsibilities or whatever the state said on the back end. But that bill distinctly, marches back the coverage of mental health care for people starting in 2020 and probably eliminates it at some future date, which I don't know and cannot quote. So my question would be, do you guys actually read these bills? But I know the answer is no, having worked in politics for the last 15 years. So my real question is, are you reading the 5 bullet point memos being sent up by your staff, or are you just some glad-handing two-dimensional boobs like you are on this stage when you're out in Washington, ready to sign on to anything that you're too old to recommend, and how long that will continue?
That are here, I think the answer would be yes. That's what we are. Yeah. Mary, it's good to see you.
Good to see you. I have two things. One, a little bit to shift the energy a little bit. Living out west of Bushland, feral hogs are becoming a bigger and bigger problem across the country. The hitch is that you guys are so close to Planned Parenthood, we can't even imagine Planned Parenthood for pigs. My other question is for us. What would it take for us to start a movement of a requirement that anybody who goes to Congress has to live a month on minimum wage?
I just want to remind everybody, especially those veterans of what's passed for progressive politics in Amarillo, this is, in the words of our president, hugely fantastic, bigly great, because this is a real new thing for Amarillo, and I think we're all going to be. I think we can safely say out of the night, we're here to stay. This isn't going to go away, right? Questions? More? Yes, ma'am.
Mine is about immigration. I have a quote that Trump made that said, all God's people should not live in fear. Well, it was a lady, I'm not sure if she was from Syria, what part of the country over there, but she was an immigrant. She had gotten a visa, I think she was in, I'm not sure, I have seen your moments, but I want to say Arkansas, but don't quote me on that. But what I'm trying to say is, how can you be for a man that is so insensitive and inhuman that he would remove her from the hospital and send her back wherever she came from with a brain tumor, a life-threatening condition, and say that all of God's children should not live in fear. Are they God's people?
Yes.
Afghanistan, Africa, they gonna be all God's people? But the doctors got a visa and said if she could meet them halfway, they were not going to let her die.
Would you guys like to hear what Ted Cruz has to say about immigration? Okay, it's a little interesting because normally, like I said, Cornyn and Thornberry seem to get what to say from some sort of Republican divine. I don't know, but I mean, they all say exactly the same thing over and over again in so many words. Cruz, of course, goes off because it's his nature. And so there may be slightly more truth in what he has to say, a little less guarded. This is his position on immigration. When establishment Republicans teamed up with Democrats to reward